Hey, Bill.
How are you doing today, Robert?
Oh, not bad at all. How about you? What's new?
Well, just took the day off and try to relax a little bit, and getting ready for another crazy day.
That's it. Yeah, me too. I took the day off. I got two screens going on. That's why I'm going back and forth. Uh, yeah, me too. Took the day off. I mean, not much going on. It's President's Day, long weekend, and start up tomorrow. Restart. You know.
So you play the guitar, or is that just decoration?
I dabble with the guitar. I got that in high school.
Oh wow,
And I got it back. My niece took it, and I'm like, "Hey, I want my guitar." It's an Ibanez Roadster. I think it's not bad. It's pretty cool. I don't know if it
yeah.
works.
Do you
Yeah.
play proficiently, or you just like to fool around?
Uh, I it's for decorations only.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't picked up the guitar in a long, long time. Long, long time. But it's a cool. Yeah,
It
maybe we
looks
should hang
nice.
it up on the wall.
It looks nice.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool one. I don't know, I should sell it maybe. Let it play. I have someone who enjoys playing music.
I'll sell
Let
it
the
to you.
guitar sing. Yeah, it's an Ibanez Roadster.
Yeah, no, I'm familiar with. Nice color.
Thanks. What do you think it would go for? Ballpark.
Just send me pictures and I'll give you an estimate.
Okay, cool.
You know,
Done.
especially the serial number.
Okay.
So we got Ricardo. Ricardo, how are you? Did you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Outstanding. I'm great.
You sound like you're really great. That's wonderful. How did you come about joining us today?
Through Facebook and the ThinkScript codes.
Ah, great. So that's working out. That's terrific.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So what level of experience do you have, Ricardo?
Well, I'm a retired PhD in physics, and
Oh,
uh, and I've been trading a lot. I consider myself an options expert. I trade through TDA and obviously do a lot of ThinkScripts and whatnot. And I get a lot of ThinkScripts from through TDA.
great. That's great. That's great. So welcome to our group. We do have an average of about 5 to 10 people that join us. Um, they're a little bit late, coming because it's probably a holiday. They weren't sure we were going to meet, but um, yeah, we're gonna be talking today about automating trading on TD Ameritrade. So hopefully you'll get something out of it.
I'm sure I will, and I can put it to good use.
Absolutely. Nothing like you know think or swim in terms of helping you automate trading. So yeah,
Yeah,
also
Thinkorswim. Yeah, Thinkorswim has the webinars which I attend every day. There's one on Friday afternoons that's exclusively on ThinkScript, and the
okay.
guy that runs it is Ken Rose, and he's an expert in ThinkScript.
Yeah, I know Ken Rose. He's a good guy. So that's great. Yeah. Um, Unfortunately, those seminars they're given by uh, Thinkorswim or TD Ameritrade, right?
Uh, yeah, they're through TD Ameritrade, but
Right.
anybody can join. Anybody can join.
But you don't have any way of talking. You just listen, right?
Correct. Yeah, it's just one way.
Yeah.
Although there's a chat function, so you can chat back and forth.
Yeah, I find that the chat function is very limiting because they pick and choose who they want to respond to. But
Yeah, that's true.
do you have a lot of people attend the ThinkScript one on Friday afternoons?
Oh, I haven't checked that, but I kind of think they're not that big, maybe 100 people.
Oh, okay.
There are, with my experience, and the instructors at TDA don't mind at all. I put in a lot of chats to answer people's questions,
Oh, great. That's
especially on the Q&A sessions that they have twice a week. So they seem to appreciate my putting in my 2 cents when they can get more people's questions answered
oh
than
good.
they had time for. So
Good.
there's usually on the webinars, there's usually the main instructor that provides the webinar. There's an assistant instructor, so to speak, that helps out with the chat. And then there's me, that I put in my 2 cents worth every now and then.
Ricardo, where do you live?
In Huntington Beach, California.
Oh, nice. Very nice. And could I have your email address? I'll put you on the email list.
Sure.
Okay.
Is this just you and I for now? Am I the only one that can hear me?
No, Rob can hear you, but he is harmless.
Yeah, I just don't want a lot of emails coming in, because I'm fairly busy. Even though I'm retired, I'm fairly busy now. But
So
I can
what you
give.
could do is you could just put it in the chat and send it to me directly, and this way no one else will get it.
Okay. Where's the chat function?
The chat function,
Is that open? Is that open now?
yeah, you just click on chat on the bottom, and then I'll send you a little chat so you can reply and say welcome.
Sure.
So you should see my chat directly to you, and then you could just send me a chat back with your email address, and we'll be all set.
Eastern. Oh, I see it. Where did we go?
We'll just wait a few minutes until we get more people, then I'll get started.
Yeah, okay. Okay. You got it.
All right, thank you, Ricardo. Appreciate it.
I even quality checked it, so there's no mistakes.
Yep, we don't want any mistakes.
Nope. Something I learned in my years and years working for aerospace and defense, do it right the first time.
Yeah, if you don't do it right the first time, people's lives will be at stake.
Yeah.
I happen to be an architect also, so I design buildings. So I don't want anyone falling down and killing themselves.
Yeah, that's a extremely important job.
Yeah. And you double check, triple check, quadruple check.
Yeah, there's been a whole bunch of notable failures in all kinds of different things.
Yeah, yeah,
Like the Mars spacecraft that hit the ground because somebody made a unit mistake,
yeah,
or the I think it was a 767 that ran out of fuel over Canada.
yeah,
Somebody forgot to change from liters to gallons.
yeah. A lot of crazy mistakes that could have been avoided easily.
Yeah, like one of these defense companies fired off a test missile, and went haywire because they misconnected the wires. So what they thought was the rudders was the elevators, and vice versa.
Yeah, yeah. And people also think that investing is a piece of cake, and they're all gonna do well, but you can make some critical mistakes in investing too.
Oh yes.
So that's great. I'm gonna take down your email, and I'll put you on our email list if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind.
Okay.
I do check on you guys every day through Facebook.
Oh, you do? Okay, great.
Yeah.
It's a good group.
Yeah.
Hi, Gia. How are you today?
Good, good.
We've got a new member that just is checking us out. Ricardo, he's from California. And he's a ThinkScript expert.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but not like Ken Rose.
No, not like him. No, definitely not. But even Ken Rose doesn't have answers to all my questions. That's for sure. All right, so let's get going. More people will show up eventually, and we'll get going. All right, so let me change the view. Image view and the window. Images. Anyway, I want to welcome a couple of new people that popped in. Arun R, how are you, Arun? Haven't seen you in a while. And Nigel, always good to see you. All right, so here we go. One of the biggest problems that we have in society and in trading is believing in yourself and having this idea that I can't do it, I'm too inexperienced, and what have you. This is an interesting picture in the background. This guy is jumping from one cliff to the other cliff, and you have to have a lot of faith in gravity and inertia in order to make that jump. And how does that relate to the stock market? Well, we're talking about momentum, and we're talking about risk, and we're talking about landing a trade. So if you look at this, it could be very, very daunting for people, but if you have faith and focus, the guy is looking at his landing place. He's not looking underneath. and he's definitely going to make that jump. So what is belief? Belief, accepting something as true, so you feel sure of the truth, to have faith, confidence, and trust. Do you believe in yourself? Do you believe in the stock market? Do you believe that you're going to wake up tomorrow and there'll be a profit in your portfolio? That certainly helps. This concept of belief. So if you believe in yourself, anything is possible. One of the things that we're doing here as a IBD leader and IBD meetup group is to instill in yourself this belief that you can actually make profitable trades and anything is possible. So believe, and this is me helping you get on top of the hill and meeting your objectives. Not everybody really needs help, but some of you do. And I'm bending over backwards to try to help you. That's my goal. And this is you accepting my help. I love this little diagram. A lot of people like, I won't do it, I can't do it, I want to do it, how do I do it? Well, most of you are right over here or over here. And then I can do it, I will do it, yes, I did it. I'm very, very happy to be able to do this. Another view of someone jumping from one side to the other side. What's really important about this particular view is that in order for him to make that jump, he has to have a running advantage. You just can't stand over here and jump. One of the things about Marketsmith and about IBD that's fantastic, we look at stocks that are already moving very, very fast and already have the momentum and have the ability to make that jump. So I love this. Imagine with all your mind, believe with all your heart, achieve with all your might. So without imagination, you won't be able to achieve anything. So imagine, believe, and achieve. So this is pretty good. Someone want to read this? Maybe Gia?
I believe in the sun, even when it's not shining. I believe in love, even when I cannot feel it. I believe in God, even when he is silent. Written on a cellar wall in Germany during the Holocaust.
So basically, this particular saying is something that you could live by and abide by. Thank you, Gia. And it'll bring you through even the most difficult times. Believe it, conceive it, take the steps to achieve it, then leave the rest to God and prepare to receive it. So I love Audrey Hepburn. This is absolutely amazing. Rob, do you want to read this?
Sure. I believe in pink. I believe that laughing is the best calorie burner. I believe in kissing a lot. I believe in being strong when everything seems to be going wrong. I believe that happy girls are the prettiest girls. I believe that tomorrow is another day, and I believe in miracles.
And if you know about Audrey Hepburn, she's, in many people's opinion, one of the greatest American actresses. And Theodore Roosevelt, one of my favorite presidents, believe you can and you're halfway there. And believe there is a good in the world. Be the good. One of the things I want to say, before we get started on actual stocks, is that I'm a conscientious investor. What does that mean? I invest in companies that I believe are doing good in the world. So I stay away from companies that I believe are destroying the world or dangerous or are even going to rip people off. So I believe there is a good in the world and I want to be the good. This is a great book if you want to read a good book about belief. Jack Villery. And then that's not important. Okay. I believe anyway. Always remember you're braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. Christopher Robin. All right, so let's talk about stocks. Enough about philosophy. February 4th, uh, we saw something really amazing, um, you know, happen with Google. Google, by a lot of people's estimation, is one of the best companies in the in the planet, and it just seems to be getting higher and higher and higher. Um, so basically, Google had really great earnings, and it went from this point, which is about 100 and about 1850 to about 2070, literally almost overnight. And one of the interesting things about this chart, this is a daily chart, and this chart is from MarketSmith. We can see from this chart that there is a cup and handle pattern over here, and there's a base pattern over here, and it just blew right through the resistance at this particular point. It had a little bit of a downturn, and it went right back to the resistance, and then it bounced right off of the resistance. So how can you um, predict, or at least feel or assume, that this particular stock was going to take off? Well, first of all, the RS rating, which is 68, it's going up. It's almost at a vertical trajectory, which is pretty amazing. And then look at the EPS. The EPS was minus 27% back in August, and now the EPS was 24% back in the beginning of November, and the EPS jumped to it was up 29%, basically on the 29th of January. And a lot of investors look at the earnings per share as a benchmark to see how the stock's doing. So it's one of the most reliable indicators of value of a stock, the earnings per share. So we can see that it is going up. We can see the stock RS rating is going up, and we can see that it's showing a breakout through the resistance, which is also a great indicator. A lot of people are like, well, Google is way too expensive. It's $2,000 a share. It's not going to go any higher. It seems like it's way too overpriced. But the truth of the matter is, when you look at the earnings per share, it doesn't matter how expensive it is, as long as the earnings per share is going up and it's getting pretty steady. It's always a good idea to invest in that stock. So anyway, this is another stock which is more like a mutual fund that I find is very, very strong, BGSAX. And this is the progress of the stock from basically a year. It went from 36 up to 64. It doubled in value, and also it gives a dividend, and it's a very stable stock with very low volatility index. So it's something that I find sometimes I have to invest in electric vehicles and in alternate technology through a mutual fund, because it gives me more protection. And this is a great company. BlackRock is very influential in this administration. In fact, 5 or 6 employees from BlackRock that are running the President Biden administration. So I really predict that their policy is going to favor the market, and it's going to favor a lot of these companies. And of all BlackRock's funds, this is one of the best performing funds. I'm not going to recommend any stocks or recommend any trading. I'm just, talking about certain stocks for illustrative purposes. It's up to you to do your due diligence and to review the stocks to find stocks that you are comfortable trading. So, just be advised that my job here is to help you with strategy and ideas, and your job is to do all the research that you can, find the best stocks for your trading style and your trading needs. So this is back in February 5th. It's not a recent chart, but USO is also another incredible, index fund. It trades the United States fund, which is LP units and ETF. It's the oil fund. So as this is going up, it basically correlates with the price of oil going up as well. And the unbalanced volume on this particular, ETF is just through the roof. I've never seen numbers that high, which is it's always a good sign. But it also means that it could be overbought. So, and these are all the stocks pretty much in my portfolio. And this is PL day, and this was taken at 8:30 on Friday before the market took off. So these are all a little bit old, so I'm just going to skip through these really quickly. Yeah, it's still February 5th. Does any of you remember if I showed this last time or not? I'm not sure if I did. Well, today is what? Today's the 15th, so very likely I did show it. So I don't think I showed these. Yeah, so I'll start with this one. Actually, I do remember showing you this one as well. Emergent Biosolutions, great company. Does anybody know what the price of EBS is right now? Could you look it up for me so I don't have to look it up? Back on Monday the 8th, it was 123, like 124 almost.
Right now it's about 120, close to 125 with widespread, the bid at 120, the ask at 125.5.
Okay, so it hasn't really popped. It's just basically around this price. Okay. Well, anyway, this is definitely a good company to look into. I've been trading this stock, and I find it to be a great stock to look at. So NVIDIA, that's another great company, and 578, and basically this is the resistance point, and MarketSmith is predicting that this is just going to bounce out at this point on Monday, February 8th. And sure enough, it did bounce. It went right through this particular, resistance. Does anybody know what NVIDIA is trading at now? NVDA.
Trying to log in.
598.45 on the close.
What was that?
598.45 was the last close.
Not bad, right? So, if you follow this particular strategy, the pivot was around 578. You would have done very well for yourself. The only thing I'm concerned about is, volume is very, very low. And even though I consider this a tight area, and this is on a daily chart, still, NVIDIA was highlighted on the IBD, Facebook site. I think Ken brought it up. He says it's a great stock to look at. I check out the IBD Facebook video every day as well, Ricardo. I think it's a great way of picking up some great ideas. But NVIDIA, the composite rating is still 97. SMR rating is A. The group is fantastic, and it's in the electrical semiconductor.
It has earnings coming up on February 24th.
Right, it's coming up. But for some reason, it just popped up right through the resistance because the whole chip sector popped up last week on Thursday and Friday. Another great company, computer software security, Okta, and it's right at the right point. It's supposed to break out through this particular cup and handle, and even though it has low volume right now, it's and this is from Monday, February 8th. Does anyone know what the price of this one is right now?
It's 291.78.
So again, another great breakout. Thank you, Rob.
No problem.
Oracle, I love this stock. It's a very cheap stock, and I think it's just going up and up and up. Monday it was 62.97. What is it now?
6308.
Okay, 63.08. The reason I'm showing you stocks from last Monday is I want to show you that these are all stocks that I talked about last Monday, and I told you, they have good potentials. So Oracle's definitely up there, NVIDIA, as I mentioned earlier, and MedPace Holding. They're talking about this like crazy. They think this is the next gold mine. So what is it now? It was 152 roughly on Monday.
168.26.
Not bad, right?
Yeah.
And Dropbox, it was 25. What is it now?
Whoa.
24.51.
All right. Well, some of them go up, some of them don't go up, but this one was at least stable. Last week we talked about radio frequency in cars, and I told you about my theory that EMF is prevalent in electric cars, and basically this is just a diagram showing all the points in which you can have the electromagnetic radiation fry your brains out, which is a very happy picture. But basically you want to avoid that as much as possible. So this is a snapshot of the Facebook Investor Business Daily, which I have to say that I enjoy watching, not so much for the information, but because I enjoy the conversation. And basically, this was one of the stocks that they were telling about as a great stock to look into. Applied Materials Incorporated, AMAT. It was at 113 at that point. What is it now?
116.7.
So another great one. Another great one to look at.
And it's going to open a little bit higher tomorrow.
Yeah. And then NIU. It was at 47.62. And what is it now?
49.01.
Yeah. And this is not a great picture of Alyssa Quorum. She does have a lot of makeup on, but this is not very flattering. But Playtika Holding, another great one. It was at 33.75. What is it now?
3350 by 34.
Okay, well, this is an IPO, so it's going to be bouncing up a lot, but it's an RS rating blue dot, which means that the RS rating is at the high point. So this is one of the interesting things we were talking about last week about Israel and some of the stocks in Israel. This is an Israeli-based mobile gaming company, social games on social networks. So you could be investing in a lucrative company and in Israel at the same time. And this is monolithic power. By the way, this is from MarketSmith. All these particular charts, and they use this on Investors Business Daily on the Facebook page every day. They use MarketSmith. So monolithic power system, and another good company. It's kind of expensive, I think, but designs analogs and mixed signal ICS used in DC converters. And this was at 384.67. Anyone can tell me what it is now? It's MPWR.
385.92.
Great. And this is something that MarketSmith recommends, and it's pretty much at the pivot point. It's 7% from pivot. So this is one of these companies that you will definitely do well with. All right, so Walt Disney, what a disappointment. This is February 12th, 9:58 a.m. And this is an actual trade in my account. I figured Walt Disney was on the way up. Earnings was, positive, and at approximately, I would say, probably around this point, extended hours, pre-market, I bought a lot. I bought like maybe 60 shares of. For me, it's not really that much, but it was speculative. I said, all right, Disney's going to go up. I almost, and of course, it didn't go up. It went down. What is Disney right now? Does anyone know? I bought it at 190.
It's a 187.67.
So it's kind of pretty much at the 187.6. It hasn't gone up or down. Anyone have any thoughts on Disney right now in terms of that last action? Earnings came in. Earnings were better than expected, but investors got a little squeamish and they started pulling out.
I think you bought too early.
I don't know what to say about Disney. I know I stuffed it in my daughter's account when the market crashed, and there's few things that she wanted was Disney and certain things, and she just kept on buying in the 90s, and I never bought any. So she's up big time with it, and now my wife wants to put some in my son's college tuition fund. So I says, wait a little bit, let it pull back. But options market wanted to go to 220. Price target to 220 now.
Oh, really? Okay. But by the way, Nigel, Ricardo is an option. I don't want to call him an expert, but Ricardo, you want to introduce yourself to the group, because Nigel and Arun didn't hear your intro.
Yeah, I'm looking at Disney right now through TradeSpoon that they do some AI on it, artificial intelligence on it, and they're predicting Disney. The maximum lookup is 10 days, 10 trading days, and they're predicting a low of 215 and a high of 223 for Disney. So I'm a retired PhD in theoretical physics, so my math is pretty good, I think. I've spent a lot of time in studying options. I've been studying options for maybe 20 years.
Wow.
And I've come up with a few tricks of my own that make me money. I'm all about risk management, trading small and trading often. And I can move pretty quickly on trading signals. And I can buy expensive stocks cheaply, very cheaply through long synthetics, like Amazon or whatever. So I hardly ever buy any stocks. I do long synthetics.
Unbelievable. Wow.
Which-
I can't wait until I learn that.
Which is, yeah, long synthetic mimics a stock, dollar for dollar, basically.
Wow.
So,
Remarkable.
and it has the same Greeks. You know, the options have Greeks, and long synthetics have the same Greeks as a stock, which means, well, with one contract that holds 100 shares, long synthetic will have a delta of 100. One share would have a delta $1 up, $1 profit.
Unbelievable.
But 100 contract, 100, one contract, 100 shares, $1 up is $100 up. That's a delta. The gamma is a little less, but almost zero. The theta, which is when people buy options, that's a killer because you're wasting money every day. The theta is zero. The vega is zero. It's just like owning stock, except, you know, the stock has dividends, you don't get dividends. But when you can own a $3,000 stock for $20, you know, that's a lot of bang for the buck. That's a lot of leverage.
Of
So
course. it is.
everybody should learn stocks, either how to enhance or how to protect your portfolio.
Hey, Ricardo, when you buy options, you know, it's all about time frame. How far out do you go with the option? Like, how do you, like, you know, if you think,
That depends on what the strategy I'm using. But
Okay.
for long synthetic, since it's just like buying stock, you know, you can do 1 month out, 2 months out, because you're not going to lose any money through theta decay.
all right,
With you know, if you sell a put, then you want to keep that kind of short. If you buy some auctions, you know, you got theta decay to contend with, so you want to maybe keep that kind of short too. Maybe for long options, it might be 30 days out, 45 days out. But it depends on the volatility. It depends on all kinds of things.
sure.
Can I ask a
So, you
Can I
know,
ask a quick question, Ricardo? I'm sorry if I just was that Bill. Do you can now see I can't really grasp the options, how to use it and whatnot. I know it's a long process. I got to learn and study it. Am I able to look at the daily options, how it's traded during the day, and follow those big money flows or where these bigger numbers of volumes are and still profit? Is that another way of trying to use the market, like the S&P SPX that trades like every other day?
yeah, SPX, yeah, trades like 4 times a week. Yeah, I do a lot with SPX because it's a European expiry. So I cannot get a sign on a short SPX option until the very last day. It's highly liquid. I'm
Yeah.
all about highly liquid options. I will not trade any illiquid options. And it's very popular, very popular.
Yeah.
This
I would-
the CBOE website has if you go to the CBOE website and do
Mhm.
index strategies, they have like 47 different strategies, option strategies
Oh yeah.
for some of the CBOE indices. Now,
And
not
what's-
all apply at the same time, but
Right.
you know, some are very simple and some are highly complex, and there's everything in between.
Right. Yeah. See, like I said, I try to keep it simple, like during the day where I see like, so maybe it's trading at 300, and then suddenly you have the number starts going up to 303, 304, but you see the volume increases and the price has not moved. Can I trade along those lines? Because usually it seems that it's been playing out. Am I able to manipulate those and follow those big moves?
You can follow those big moves.
Yeah.
again, all my trades are risk defined.
Yeah.
So-
yeah.
So
Okay.
there's nothing I do that it's risk defined to the downside if I'm bullish,
Yeah.
and there's no limit to the upside.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
For
Thank you.
most of my trades on those indices. But
Gotcha.
everybody should learn options, not only
Yeah.
for wealth enhancement and but how to protect your portfolio. A lot of people don't know how to protect their portfolio in an efficient manner.
Wow. Yeah. 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 Wow. Wow. That's incredible. You'll be hooked up with our community with this meetup, or today's just your first day only?
So this is my first event with you guys, but I joined maybe 2 weeks ago with the ThinkScript Facebook group.
Okay. Okay.
We're gonna have Ricardo back. We definitely want to have more insights. So we're also going to get a lot more people from the ThinkScript group and from IBD. I don't know if you guys know this, but I have an IBD investors group on Facebook, and you should definitely go on there and join it because we've got over 100 people on there, and I put a lot of daily, well, maybe weekly, posts on it, and people do that as well. That group is the only IBD investors group on Facebook that is meetup based, so that I know of. So we're going to see a lot of potential. We're going to have a lot more people like Ricardo in our group, and we're going to have some great discussions. And I love what Ricardo was saying about Tradespoon and about Disney. I also believe that Disney's going to take off like crazy because they have the Disney Plus, the channel, which I think is going to take away a lot from Netflix and a lot from these other TV stations. And my wife is begging me to see Soul, which is a movie that was professionally produced by the Disney Channel, and it's a box office hit. So movies like that are really, really great, and I think Disney's one of the best run companies in the world. So this is definitely a good buying opportunity, I think.
Yeah, I have IBD in a digital format, so I can get not only their website, but also have a leaderboard. I don't have Marketsmith.
Oh, Ricardo, you should jump on Marketsmith if you're they're running a great trial, and it's like $20 for 3 or 4 weeks, and definitely jump in on that. It's you're going to be very happy. I'm telling you. I like leaderboard, but for someone that wants to make their own decisions on stocks, I think Marketsmith is far superior.
Oh, good. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, and Scott Sinclair, once you log in or you join, ask for Scott Sinclair. He's one of the greatest people in IBD, and a great coach, and you'll get free coaching from him for your trial period.
Huh.
And even though I don't have any benefit from it because they don't give me anything for recommending people, please mention that I recommended you, when you log in and you join, because I want them to know that, that I'm a viable, person that's helping the community.
Okay. I remember that, God, it must have been in the middle 90s that I went to an IBD webinar in Santa Monica, or seminar in Santa Monica, and it was done by William O'Neill.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it cost me like $700.
Yeah. And
Back
now the yearly subscription for Marketsmith is like $1,100, and you get unlimited coaching. You can talk to these people one-on-one and have set up an appointment whenever it's convenient for you. And some of the advice you get is better than any advice you'll get from me, only because my advice is limited to my experience. These people have, like 30, 40 years working for the IBD group, and that's all they do. They work 40 hours a week. Some of them work 50 hours a week, and the training is just absolutely amazing. But of course, you know, I'm just referring to, Scott Sinclair's advice. I'll give you better advice than anyone else over there. I guarantee that, because most of the time when I call them, um, I can answer all their questions for them. But anyway, that's because I've been doing this for about 30 years myself.
Yeah, I've been with IBD for a long time, sometimes not so much because of work, which I spent a long time. Most of my time was spent in top secret projects,
Oh, nice.
and one of them was the B-2 bomber from Northrop Grumman,
Well,
and some of the flight testing was done in the middle of nowhere in Nevada, and they sent me out there to
you must be in your 70s then.
69.
Wow, you started doing this really young. That's incredible. Wow.
Yeah, right after I got my PhD, my first job was with a company in El Segundo called the Aerospace Corporation, which is a think tank for the Air Force Space Division, which is now Space Command.
Wow.
That was my first job. Then after that, I went to Northrop Grumman. And after that, I finished off at Raytheon.
Wow.
So, and all of them had top secret projects. And this base were top secret base in the middle of nowhere. The food was free and all you wanted to eat, and I lost 20 pounds.
Unbelievable.
The Department of Defense buys the best food for their troops and whatnot. But when it gets to the local cooks, it gets all messed up.
Wow, just when you think you've met all kinds of interesting people, just keep on plugging. Great job, man. Wish I could be like you one day.
But I've put my mathematical skills to good use in trading options and stocks, and I've got good info from IBD and Wall Street Journal and TradeSpoon and TDA. So I'm a happy guy.
Good for you.
Good for you. That's great. So let's look at Biorad, another great stock. This was back on Friday. It was trading at about 680. What is it now? I'm just curious.
662 by 664.5.
What is it, Rob?
$662 by $664.50. Let's
Oh,
trade at
wow.
662.35.
So this could be a real moneymaker tomorrow. Bio, that's great. I love it. And let's look at this stock. I mean, I in full disclosure, I own the stock. I bought it at 633. And let me tell you what my philosophy behind buying this was. Well, first of all, I believe it was on a Marketsmith breakout, and I'll show you the Marketsmith breakout and how to look at stocks in just a minute. But and then I have a 5% trailing stop, which is this right above here, and we're going to talk a little about automated trading, and this is very important that I bring this up. I put an automated trade, 10 shares at $633, pretty much at this particular level, because I thought that this was a very good level, and I was pretty sure it was going to be filled at this level. And sure enough, it was filled. And when I put the order in, I put an automated sell at 5% trailing stop, below the sell price. So what happened was I put the order right before earnings. I anticipated, good positive earnings, and the price of stock took off, and then my stop loss took up. So for most of you that are aware of what a trailing stop does, when the price of the stock goes up, the trailing stop goes up. When the price of the stock goes down, the trailing stop stays stationary. The idea is that if it hits the trailing stop, you'll sell the stock. And at this point, it's I still make money on it because it'll be going down. So what's going on here is we got the detrended price oscillator. It's just shooting up. The TTM squeeze is shooting up. The stochastics RSI is shooting up. But what's really interesting about this stock is that the implied volatility is actually going down. So what does that mean for us as a trader? So everything is shooting up, but the implied volatility is going down. I think Ricardo could probably answer that very, very well, and then I could just embellish on it.
Well, I've been doing something else where you've been talking, but I hate to tell you guys, but I just did if the market were open with bio, and if I did a long synthetic that mimics the stock at 662, it would cost me $3.45. So 345 cents to control 100 shares of bio.
So that's great. So you just placed that order?
No. I just did it for your guys' benefit. Although TradeSpoon is high on bio, they got they have it going up to 700 fairly soon.
Trade Sport or Trade Spoon?
TradeSpoon.
Trade Spoon, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
they use artificial intelligence to figure out future prices. I also look at my linear regression. I could take a look at the linear regression and see what bio has.
So, Ricardo, do you know how to trade? How to share your screen?
No, because I'm on the iPad and I got I'm looking at all this on my PC.
Oh, okay, fine. All right. Because next time you
my
come,
linear regression, I'm sorry, my linear regression lines are saying bio is going to go up to, in the near term, to $714.
I believe it.
But I can control 100 shares of bio for $345 and has the same profit loss as the stock.
So what that means is that if the profit goes up, you make as much as if you owned 100 shares.
Yeah.
But if it goes
Yeah,
down,
let me do I'm here in Thinkorswim. Let me do an analyze the trade. And
I like the way he said it.
do
I
you
like
want
the way he said it so easily.
do you want to log in with your PC on the Zoom thing, and then you could share your screen that way?
well, not right now. I'm kind of having fun listening to you guys, but
Next week or the following week, we'll have you do something if you feel like it. Okay.
so with my with a 700 target with this long synthetic, I would be up $3,700.
On just 100 shares?
Yep. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I tell you guys, when I started with TD Ameritrade, go to their webinars, I was always telling the guys, do webinars on long synthetics. Took me 3 years before they finally do it. Now they have a weekly class that's all on that. And, you guys can ask for a paper trade TDA account and you can access the webinars. You can attend the webinars for free.
Wow.
No, we attend those webinars. They're great. I'm going to attend a webinar on long synthetics for sure. What day of the week is that?
Let's see.
And also, Ricardo, if you go down, if the price goes down to 650, do you lose like $3,000 or $4,000?
The long synthetic webinar is at on Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific time. It's colors and synthetics. I don't do long synthetics by themselves, so as I would not buy a stock by itself, I would do what's called a married put, which gives me a floor, and I cannot lose any more after it reaches that floor.
Right, I understand. That's
And
great.
with my long synthetic, I have infinite upside. So infinite upside and limited downside.
That's great. That's great.
Remarkable.
Well, you're definitely definitely gotten our attention. That's for sure.
Definitely.
All right. So
I tell you, it's well worth the effort to learn options for many different reasons.
Yeah. That's why the last few months I've been trying to learn to grasp it, but and then our group here has been trying also to try and learn it, but we haven't made much headway yet, I guess.
And TDA has basic option courses, so I mean, and
Yep.
there's all kinds of YouTube videos on that. There's some from the Options Institute Corporation. There's from CBOE. There's all kinds of people that have simple option training for free on YouTube.
Got
TDA has a YouTube channel, so all their webinars will eventually get posted there.
cool.
well, it's great. It's great to you know to know more about options, and certainly long synthetics is a great way of you know finding more about options. So anyway, let me teach Ricardo and a lot of you stuff that you don't know, because everyone has strengths and has areas of expertise and you know weaknesses in areas that they don't know. So one of the things that I advocate, which is you know very different than people that advocate for options, is you know because one of my big problems, you know, it may not be a big problem for a lot of people, but it is a big problem for me, is that I have a lot of money, and I feel that I can invest in stocks and put my money to good use. So one of the challenges that I have is I invest in stocks that are going up and not stocks that are going down. So I don't mind buying 100 shares of bio, you know, but of course I would probably rather buy long synthetics. So as I start to look into that, I'll definitely jump in the bandwagon and get to know more about this. So, but in any case, so this is Marketsmith, and the distribution days. You know, we've had a pretty choppy, you know, month so far. 4 distribution days on the S&P 500, 1 on the Nasdaq. But it seems like the market is in confirmed uptrend right now, especially because there was a late hour rally on Friday. Very happy what was going on Friday. But what I like to look at is stock action. How many stocks are up? How many stocks are down? How many are near pivot? But I want to point out that on Friday, there was 0 stocks breaking out today, which is for me a serious problem. Near pivot, there was 3 stocks. And the week in review, this is great. Scott St. Clair, you know, you could see all his seminars over here, Take the Market, and so forth and so on. Exclusive Marketsmith stock list. Earnings upcoming. Marketsmith Growth 250, which is their list of the best stocks in the stock market. This, by the way, is all computer generated. Up on volume. I mean, they have some pretty sophisticated software that helps find all these stocks. So there's a lot of other stuff on here: Marketsmith resources, top stocks. You can download all this stuff. Talk to a coach. This is what I was talking about before. Product coaching. So if you just want to talk to a coach, you click on this and you pick whatever month you want, whatever day. Let's say you want to talk to a coach tomorrow. These are the times that they have, and you just pick a time that you have free time. I have between 12 and 1, and put down my phone number. It's right here, and between 12 and 1, so I'm going to schedule an appointment, and that's it. It's
That's
really
very interesting.
What's that?
That's very interesting.
Well, not only very interesting, but the quality of conversation that you're going to have with these coaches are incredible. And you could talk to a different coach every day. So we're not talking about like talking to a coach that doesn't know what they're talking about. These are all really great people. And then open stock ideas. Once you click on open stock ideas, you have some great possibilities. Breaking out today, 0 stocks, near pivot, 3 stocks, recent breakouts, 18 stocks. And then RS line blue dot, which is basically relative strength compared to the S&P 500. It shows you stocks that are jumping up on the RS line blue dot, up in volume, pullback. These basically is great because you have a pullback to the 10-week line. And these are all stocks that took off and now are pulling back. So it gives you an opportunity. You see, this one took off. It's coming back, so you have an opportunity to buy it at a cheap price. Another example, this one took off. It's coming back right to the 10-week line. I don't use this that often because I think that there are better ways. I like the RS blue dot best, and basically whenever you have a blue dot, it means that the stock is on the uptrend and it's going up. And this is the pivot right up here. So this particular stock, Avalon Holdings, has a lot of potential. And what I do is I just set an alert right at the pivot, and then I get alerted when the stock goes up through the top, and I usually buy it because I think it's definitely worthy of consideration. And this is another one, but I don't see the blue dot here, so I'll skip through it. And what I also want to point out, and this is something that's very interesting, I have a set of requirements over here, and I look at this to see if it meets all the requirements. And this one's only 5 out of 9, so it's not a great stock. So I'm just going to delete this alert. I don't really want to buy this. I want to make sure that the composite rating is greater than 80, current price is greater than 20, and that the earnings per share rating is greater than 80. And then the RS rating is greater than 80. Industrial group, it's one of the best ones. And sales is greater than 1. I want to be able to buy a stock that has good sales. But it seems like, even though this doesn't meet all my criteria, maybe I will keep this, keep this on a watch list. So I'm just going to set my alert anyway. And what I normally do, though, is I go back to the stock ideas over here and earnings. I like to look at upcoming earnings, And what I do is I click on this, and these are all stocks with upcoming earnings. And I just look through the list to see if there's anything that appeals to my, my fancy. And this is also, we're in an uptrend right now. So I look over here. This is my favorite, near pivot. So I look at this and I say, okay, great. So let's see what's going on with these stocks. These are all near pivot. And this is where I make most of my money. I buy right before it goes into the pivot. And this is a great stock because this is my screen, and it passes everything except the RS line new high, which I don't really care about because it's facing up anyway. So it's 1% to pivot. And what I do is very simply, I just put my little thing right on the pivot line, and then I put an alert. And no matter what I'm doing, I get this alert that this stock is going through the pivot line. And I don't know if you know this company, but this is computer software, and it's a great company. I'd be curious, Ricardo, what do you think about this company if you look at Tradespoon?
Okay, let me, what is it, FIVN?
FIVN, yes, that's right.
All right, so FIVN. Within about 2 weeks, they predict like a low of about 187 to 192.
Thank you.
So they're high on it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because Friday closed at 181.92, up almost 7 points. So they're going to about 187 to 192.
So definitely something to consider.
And let's see. My linear regression lines says 186.
$186. Okay. So
In 2 weeks.
What, in 2 weeks? Okay. My evaluation of this is looking at the daily chart. It looks like it's gonna earning per share is in 7 days. We're gonna have the earnings report in 7 days. And this is the beautiful thing about this company, that the last earning per share was up 35%. And it shows that this company has really good earnings and has a really good growth rate. The P ratio is pretty good, and it's a big cap company, but most people don't really know about it. That's the weird thing about it. But funds own 71% of it, and IBD's composite rating is 97, which is great.
It's associated with Bitcoin also.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So you're doing the Bitcoin thing and the computer
No,
software.
I came up as it just came up with Bitcoin, that it's associated with blockchain technology with Bitcoin.
That's great.
It's a mutual fund, isn't it?
No, it's 5.9. When you think of like 5.9s, it's like the amount of like uptime or whatever, resilience in a data center, 5.9. So maybe it has something to do with data center availability. And if you want blockchain, you have to have highly available service, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, I was looking at I did get the numbers right for that stock, but the next one down that shows me is FIVNX, which is a Fidelity Value Mutual Fund. So that's why it threw me off for a bit. But yeah, all the information I gave you was good.
Yeah, no, this is definitely in the computer software enterprise sector, and the next one down from this one is APPS, which is another great stock. But the reason I like 559 is because it is it is right near the pivot. This one's already well past the pivot, very extended. So let's go to the next one, XP. And we'll go to a daily. So XP looks like it's pretty much near the pivot point. And also it's 7 out of 9, which is pretty good. And the only weakness over here is the RS rating is less than 80. But definitely something to look into, and it's finance, investment, banking. So good sector to be in. Like I did with the last one, I just put my little pointer right over there, and I set an alert. And these are actually pretty cheap stocks, by the way. So not that expensive. And then Max Linear, another good one, and it's 41% from the pivot point. And if you look at the weekly, you also always have to look at the weekly, because once you look at the weekly, it is right on the pivot point. So, and this one has 7 out of 9, which is great. And what would you say this one is on the trade spoon, Ricardo? This one's MXL.
Okay.
Did you say 30?
I haven't said anything yet, but it's looking good.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's still thinking.
you're still thinking. Okay.
Is it? Yeah, the computer's still thinking, but let's see. It closed about $37, and it's going to be about 40 to 42 or so in a couple of weeks, couple trading weeks.
That's awesome. And what about the linear regression channel?
Linear regression. Can we get the?
Hey, Bill Ricardo, what are we using? He's using Trade Spoon or School?
It's a paid subscriber for Trade Spoon.
Got you. Okay.
So this is looking at the, and I think Trade Spoon's having a sale right now for new guys. So it's looking at a little over $41.
41. Yeah, that's great. That's super.
Yeah, I don't usually trade stocks this small. I like the big ones. Again, I don't buy stock. I do long synthetics.
Right. Well, we're definitely interested in knowing more about that. So if you want to tell us next time or the time after, that's great.
There's all kinds of webinars from the Options Industry Council. They have their own YouTube channel, and they got great webinars on long synthetics. You can go through their YouTube channel, and I'm sure you can find all kinds of webinars from them and others. It is the greatest thing since sliced bread.
And
Wow.
how long have you been using long synthetics?
10 years.
Oh, good.
And it's just LONG, long synthetics. That's the phrase I would punch in.
Yeah, LONG,
Gotcha.
and then synthetic SYNTHETIC.
Got you.
Great, but you know what's important, Nigel, is you know do a lot of you know trading on your paper account before you start venturing into your real money, because you know
Oh, definitely.
the learning curve is just you know pretty high.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know,
yeah, definitely, Bill. I'm definitely gonna take your advice.
I do a lot of trading on earnings. I do pre-earnings trades, through earnings trades, and post-earning trades. And I did a whole bunch of paper money trading until I finally settled on my strategy for the
Yeah.
through earnings trades. I spent $600,000 in developing that strategy. It's a good thing it was all
Damn.
paper. It's a good thing it was all paper money.
Okay. Thank you.
But
So,
trade
so,
small, trade often, and I would add a risk defined.
Gotcha. Thanks.
yeah, trade small, trade often, and make a lot of money.
No. Risk defined.
I know.
Risk defined. I like that phrase though.
I gotta tell you something else you guys are probably not gonna believe. But and I'm not gonna share the strategy because it's dangerous. But I've come up with a strategy that's a credit spread, and I do it on the indices like the NDX and the SPX and things like that. That give me a huge amount of credit and not much buying power required. So about in November, I did one on all my three accounts. I have three accounts with TDA, a standard cash, margin options, futures account, then my Roth IRA, my standard IRA. And my biggest strategy I did on my standard IRA, which is my biggest account. And I did a trade that gave me $450,000 in credit.
Angel. Whoa,
Which I-
man, I love you.
which I can use for my credit spreads whenever they need buying power or to do new trades or whatever. I did
Unbelievable.
on my Roth IRA, I did 100,000 on my my standard cash margin futures account. I did 200,000. So I had essentially $200,000 loan from the CBOE. And you know what's even incredible than that?
Oh,
The cash in my account for that, I'm getting money market interest from TDA.
God bless you.
It's what, like 1% money market, but heck, when have you ever heard of that before?
That's incredible.
well, the other thing that makes Ricardo even more spectacular, he's an expert in ThinkScript, so he can create automations for a lot of different things, you know, on TD Ameritrade and Thinkorswim.
I gotta tell you something else. You know, I go to a lot of webinars with TDA, and nowadays with the volatility and whatnot, TDA is having a hard time fielding calls, and some people get 1 hour wait time, 2 hour wait time, and whatnot, and they're always bitching about that. Last year, TDA classified me as an elite trader, and one of the things they gave me is a phone number to the trade desk that they answer within 2 rings.
That's great.
Which when I put that on the chat, really pisses people off, and I get a laugh out of that.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe I should shut up. I've talked enough.
Do you have Aaron's direct line?
Who's Aaron?
He's the Thinkorswim guru at TD Ameritrade.
No, I've only dealt with Ken Rose because he's the guy that does the webinars.
Oh, you're dealing with Ken Rose. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so let's jump into automating your trades. And one of the things I want to talk about just really briefly is that when you are in the process of making a trade on Thinkorswim, the best way of doing that is basically to make it as foolproof and as idiot proof as you can. So let's see, we looked at a couple of stocks just now. I think one of my favorite ones is FIVN. So we're gonna look at FIVN, and we're looking at the daily. And I put that there's an alert if it goes above 183.69, right? So what I'm hoping to do is that if this stock hits 183.69, I'm going to place a trade. Okay. Now, a lot of you are like, well, you know, it's actually Monday night. The market doesn't open till tomorrow. Are you sure you know what you're doing? Yes, I'm pretty sure I know what I'm doing. So this is how you go about doing it. It's pretty simple. The first thing that you need to do is to bring up the chart. So let me just I'm competing with the Zoom menu up there, which is a pain in the neck. So what was the ticker symbol again, so I could just type it in?
FIVN.
FIVN. Okay. So 59. And you know, I'm looking at the charts. I'm looking at you know, my whole strategy. It looks pretty good. After hours, it's 181 to 185. So it looks like it's going to be up for the day. I'm looking to get it at about 186.69. So all I have to do is go up here, right click, hit buy custom, because I set a custom you know, buy template. And then I go into here and I go into Cool Beans Trading, and I have it set to about $10,000, but for the purpose of this particular demonstration, I'm just going to do $1,000 for this. And the price target was 186.69, right? So what I'm going to do actually, and this may seem a little bit surprising to most of you, I'm going to do an extended hour trade, and I'm looking at the range of what it is. It's 181 to 185. So instead of going for the 186.69, I'm going to go for the 181.92, because I really believe that I could get a trade at about $182 on this in the extended hours. Almost positive I can get this trade. And why am I so confident that I can get this trade? Well, because look at the way it's bouncing around. It's going up to 182, it's going down to 180, and it's really bouncing around quite a bit. In fact, when I'm looking at this, I can see that it went down to 180.7. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go to 181. So 181, limit, extended hours. What I have done is I've created an automated trade strategy, which is I'm buying it at 181 extended hours. And I'm going to have a 5% stop loss, which is right over here, 5%. and I have a 20% limit on this particular trade. So if it shoots up to 20%, I'm going to sell it. If it shoots down to 5%, I'm going to sell it. And you know what? I think I'm happy with this trade. I'm going to go with maybe $1,700 on this. Hit send. See, this is the actual trade. I can even go more on this one if I wanted to, but I'm just going to set with this. The important thing is that my upside potential is 20%. My downside potential is 5%. So I tend to basically have nothing but a positive outcome from this. And you could see that the limit is at the low point right here. And, tomorrow morning I'm going to wake up and see if this trade was executed or not. Now, why do I feel that, there's a good chance I'm going to get it at this particular price? Well, that's because it's bouncing around within that range. And if I pick the high point, I may not do very well. But if I pick the low point and I buy it at that price, then it'll shoot up and then I'll make more money. And that's it. And I don't really need the stock in my portfolio, but it's definitely something that I'm interested in. So what I do next, and this is unfortunately a very important strategy, is I pick the next one on the list. All right, hold on 1 second, please. My wife has to ask me a very important question. Give me 1 second. I have to mute.
Hey, Ricardo.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just it's Nigel again. Yeah, so do you? I got in late. Did Bill cover any place where we could speak with you if we needed any more guidance or anything, or where we could connect with you by chance, or no?
No, I am in the Facebook ThinkScript group, which I joined maybe a couple of weeks ago, and then I'm going to look at the Facebook IBD group and see if I can
Okay.
join.
Mhm. Okay. Otherwise, you'll be here with us in case we need any kind of just touch bases with any kind of guidance, with where to turn to for more help.
Yeah, I spend I'm retired now, but I spend most of my weekdays with TDA, going through their webcasts, their webinars, and also trading.
Yeah, same thing with me. I've been retired also for some years, just dabbling in the market with Bill and company.
Yeah, and I'm real big on options, hugely. Hardly buy any stocks. I don't really care about dividends. Why should I own the stock to get a dividend when that what was it, that stock I showed you on the Law Synthetic? It was $600 or so, and I could get it for less than $400 for 100 shares.
All right,
So
right.
it was like $4 a share. So what do I care about a dividend?
Anyway, let me just finish doing this, and then you guys we can have some time for just interaction. That's fine. So XP is another one that is near the buy point, and the nice thing about stocks that are near the buy point is that they're pretty volatile in terms of their extended hours. So let's look at XP again. All right, so XP, we have, what is the price range for XP? It's 39 to 50, quite quite a gap. So it went down to 39, which is absolutely incredible for this particular stock. I'm looking at the channel. The channel is going up. This is going up, and seems like historical volatility is at a very, very low point right now, which means it's good for me because I have a better chance of getting it and keeping it without being shorted out of it or stopped out of it. And it looks like this particular stock is pretty good. I go to the Analyze tab, to find out more information about it. Because I'm also a value trader. And the valuations are good. No dividends though. PE, price to earnings, is good. See what the earnings per share is. Earnings per share is very low. EPS.
If Bill should be there at 9.
Will that work? So, I mean, I open at 9:30 regardless, but if he has to be at his desk at 9:30.
All right, sorry about that. My wife was like asking me to help her out, but this is definitely a good earning maker, and it doesn't have any dividends, but we have good financials on this and everything else. So let's go back to the chart, and we'll. Oh, the other nice thing about the stochastics is going up on a intraday, which is really great. And we'll go into here, and then buy custom right here, and we're going to automate this trade also. And what happens, which is really interesting, with the range, it's telling you that 48, 42 is the low range, and 50 is a high range, which is basically you're buying it at the close. This guy that wants to get it for 39 bucks, it will never happen. It just won't happen. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to buy a small position in it. And I be very, very sure that you click on extended hours, because this is great, to be able to get it in extended hours. And since I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive on this, let's say I'm going to get this at 48, 20. Let's say 48.22, and just double check everything, confirm and send. And sure enough, it looks like it's pretty much right at the bottom of this particular bounce. So this is great. But you notice what I'm doing. I'm just picking stocks out of the Marketsmith list of near pivots. So this is important that you realize this. I'm not picking stocks arbitrarily. I'm picking stocks that are on the verge of breaking out. And the last one is MXL. And we'll look at the weekly chart. And we're going to do the same thing with MXL. So we go back to here. Notice I'm only putting a small amount of money into it. I'm not putting like hundreds of thousands of dollars on it. And there's a reason for that. Because if this stock takes off, then I'm going to be alerted that it took off. And then at the middle of the day, around 10:30, 11, I'm going to put more money into it. But this at least is just like a bookmark for me. And this looks really good to me over here, 37. The chart's just going up. So again, this is something I do pretty much routinely by custom. The other thing that I have figured out is that the market tomorrow is projecting to be going up, because futures are projected to go up, and this is, a good way of getting ahead on the market, especially since at 9 o'clock in the morning I already made an appointment to take my dog to the groomer. So I'm not going to be in front of my computer at 9 o'clock. I could just tell you that.
Yeah, tomorrow the future projecting big day up.
Yeah. So we're looking at 3706. So confirm and send. And basically I'm going to make most likely 3 trades in the extended hours. And let's see, cancel, replace order. If you have to check what it is, yeah, and it looks good. And we just basically delete this so that we keep this up, and that's it. It's pretty simple. Now the other thing is with ThinkScript and coming up with scripts and everything else for your trades and everything else. This whole buying OCO order is a ThinkScript that I created to make it easy for me to set this up very easily. But there's other things too, like for example, in the scan, you can set up certain scans with ThinkScript. There's a lot of possibilities with that. So let's see if I can set something up for you. I can demonstrate. This is the wrong one. Let's go to scans, stock hacker. Here we go. And let's open up it went into analyze spread book. All right, so this is a linear regression slope, and I know that this is one of the best strategies that you could pick, and I'm really delighted that Ricardo also believes in the linear regression. It's one of the best strategies because it kind of the only strategy that really predicts what's going to happen, and this particular strategy over here is based on a ThinkScript. So if you want to know what it is, linear regression slope, LRS greater than 5 within 10 bars. We'll edit this, and this is what I figured out. Just the linear regression slope is greater than 5 within 10 bars. And what that means basically is that I'm going to cancel out of this. Let's see, cancel. What this basically means is that in my watch list, I'm using this particular strategy to find the best stocks. And let's hit scan. And these are all the stocks that have a linear regression slope facing up. And I go through this list, and basically at this point, these stocks are already trading at very, very high increments. So you can see that this particular strategy works. I always keep PL open to see if I own any of these, but I don't own any of these right now. And these are all the columns that I like: return on equity, return on asset, implied volatility, percent change. And of course, you can change this if you want to make it more, compatible to your trading style. If you want to add anything to it, you just go over here and you hit customize. Probably sizzle index is something I'm not really interested in. Dividends per year, yeah, maybe. Strength meter, probably. Return on equity, return on assets, we can keep that. Implied volatility. Send to the 2 yellow is very important because that allows you to see that. And I like to keep the industries also. I don't really use return on assets, return on equity that much, but let's look over here for earnings per share. I think that's an important one. So let's take this one, and we're going to move this all the way up to the top. We'll put that right up here. Historical volatility is important, last percent change. And then PE, price per earning. So price per, let's see if we have EPS on here. EPS right here, earnings per share. I thought we got that. Price per PE, LMNOP. Yeah, right here, price per earning. So that's very, very important also. So let's bring that one up, move up. Right next to earnings per share. And we got the historical volatility, but the implied volatility is really important. It's right here. So let's move that up. Earnings per share. And I also want to point out that there are a lot of options over here that you could pick for your ThinkScript. And one of the ones that I created, and you could see because the ones that have this little piece of paper that's blank, that's something that I custom made. So I'm gonna show you this one, and the way to do that, and this is a weird thing that Thinkorswim does, is that you can't really see this unless you put it on the top of your column. So let's put that one on the top of the column. It's somewhere over here. And what I'm going to have to do is just bring this over. Percent off the weekly. And now I'm going to customize it. Or I can edit the formula. So let's look at this formula. TM scalper alert, pivot low is true within 5 bars. This is a formula that I've been using quite a bit. The scalper alert is up within 5 bars. There's something wrong with this particular formula. I'm not going to spend a lot of time going over that, except to say that it's generating all zeros. So we're gonna customize this. Yeah, we're gonna get rid of this one because this is an old one that I very rarely use. Let's go and look at PTM. You see, the scalper alerts is already standard. It's locked. You can see that they're all locked. So let's look through this list and pick ones that I created. Okay, here's one right here, close above high. So let's look at that. Let's see what that looks like. So close above high. Right click on the top, edit the formula. Close is greater than or equal to high within 52 bars. So you click on edit and close is greater than or equal to high within 52 bars. So let's see if, so basically all of them show that the close is greater than in 52 bars, which means that they're all, positive, performing stocks, which is great. And basically Thinkorswim has about 5 of these that you can customize, and all you have to do is just look for the ones that are blank. So this is another one that I customized, cross above the simple moving average. So I'm going to show you how that's done. I'm going to put that over here. Why it's important to know what the close above something is? Well, the simple moving average is important because it tells you how the stock is doing compared to the simple moving average. And we edit the formula. So a close crosses above simple moving average in 30 bars times 0.92. So this basically tells you that these are all zero, which means that they're all basically above the moving average. So in any case, I'm going to basically just look at some of these. And one thing that I do love is the description and the sector. So when I do this search of linear regression slope, LR is greater than 5 within 10 bars, I'm also interested in what industry and what sector it is, so I can just sort by that. And it turns out, surprisingly enough, that communication services is one of the best sectors. Information technology, finances, healthcare, and consumer discretionary. Energy, not so much. So, you can just look through this and say, oh, look, Google's up there. Movies and entertainment, Roku. Roku's been, awesome through this whole thing. But it turns out that, just running this search, I found that, Google's up there. And then we got NVIDIA, we got Shop, we got Zoom, financials, and a lot of healthcare stocks. So what does this all mean? Well, this means that simply by looking at the number of stocks that comes up on your search, you can easily hone in on the sectors that are going to be doing well, namely the sectors that are going up. So a tremendous time saving. And then if you want the sub-industry, it seems like from what I see over here, interactive media and services are doing pretty well. And also, by the way, the Russell 2000 is doing very well. So this is another strategy. This does not involve MarketSmith at all. It just involves you doing a scan for the linear regression slope, which is a great indicator telling you how the stock is going up, in what direction it's going up. And there's 3 in the application software department. Bill, which is my name. I always like to invest in my name, which is great. And the trade desk. Not surprisingly, the trade desk is doing very well, and so is Zoom. So this is basically a very, very simple way of checking. And just for those of you, and I'll shut up after this, those of you that don't know what a linear regression channel is, or linear regression slope, you just go over here and you type in linear regression. I use the linear regression channel. You can see that linear regression channel is 2 of my favorites. but linear regression slope is basically the line in between the middle. So I don't really use that, but and what we're seeing here is at the top and the bottom. If a stock is kind of near the bottom, it means that it's going to pop up and go near the top, bounce off the top, and go back down. So with that being said, I will, open up floor for any conversation or any questions or any discussions that you guys might have.
It was very good, Bill. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Oh, wonderful! I'm glad, Ricardo. I enjoyed you being on our in our group, and I certainly hope you come back.
I certainly will.
Great, great, it's wonderful. So, Nigel, looks like you have something to say.
Yeah, very interesting guest that Bill always has on our meetup. This way, it'll help the whole community. And appreciate you stopping by. And hopefully we could see you more in the future. Give us a few pointers, tips, or just guide us to the right direction. At least we know that we're swimming in the right direction and not against the waves, right? But I appreciate your insight.
Yeah.
Arun, you didn't say anything. Are you muted, or can you hear us? We can't hear you, Arun. No. Yeah, Arun has a problem with his microphone sometimes. But so without any questions, I want to thank everyone for joining us today, and look forward to seeing you next week. And
There was a message from Arun that said I was not muted.
yeah, I can see that, but we can't hear him. So
Yeah.
but we'll next week, Arun, please maybe get on a different computer or something so that we can hear you. So anyway, Ricardo, thank you. Rob, by the way, Rob is Rob, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name's Rob, financial advisor, money coach, risk management. Let's see.
I like that. Risk management. It's
There you go.
very important.
Absolutely. So hey, I love these meetings. It's all educational. But once again, I am a financial advisor. If anybody wants, build a portfolio or we can utilize ETFs, or even take a look at. I'm not a planner, but an advisor. And
Yeah, just a shout out about Rob. Rob is one of these guys that you very rarely find who really knows his stuff, and he's a technical trader, and he also knows his charts. He's been part of this group for at least 3 or 4 years. It always comes here and gives great insights. So wonderful person to know, and to if you're in a position in which you are too busy traveling around the world and you want someone to manage your money, Rob is a good person to talk to. By the way, Eli just texted me. He said that he's in Vermont right now skiing. No, tubing. He's in Vermont tubing, and
He's got the life.
well, he's learned a lot about trading through this group, and he's made enough money to take a whole week off and go to Vermont. So
Wow.
he's you can't beat it. The Vermont's got what, about 5 feet of base right now. I would take any opportunity right now to get in my car and go to Vermont. Unfortunately, I've got, obligations here at home, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
Uh,
babysit us.
yeah, well, this is fun too. This is definitely fun.
Yeah.
Gia, do you want to just say a few words about yourself as well?
I'm not sure what I could say. My plug is my favorite stock, thanks to Bill. And I live in Queens. I did work in technology in Wall Street for so many companies, and I have a degree in mathematics, but I don't remember anything about it. So when you say all these things about regressions and whatever, I said, boy, that's kind of familiar, but it's such a long time.
Yeah. Well, Gia's been part of this group for at least 8 years, I guess, and you're like a long time ago. How long was it that I said look into plug?
Yeah, yeah, and I always want to know the reason you liked it so much. I guess it's because you just felt um whatever the electromagnetic fields of like electric cars and hydrogen would be like a really good a safer alternative to get away from fossil fuels or whatever. Maybe
Plug
whatever.
plug actually came up in VectorVest, which is another site that I'm a member of, and I used to be a group leader for VectorVest, and I think that came up in some of their screens. But yeah, plug is definitely, it went from like $8. What is it now? Like 60 something?
Now I think when you recommended it, it was 30 cents.
Yeah, 30 cents.
It was 30 cents, and I saw it go up to 70 cents and then $2. And it says, well, I'm in at $2. And then it went up to 11, then it went down to like $2 again. And I just left it alone. And I looked at it last month and it was like $67. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Well, that's great. That's great. Well,
But
we
I
got,
have one question for you. I was hearing a lot about silver, and one time I asked you a question about gold, and you said you had GLD as a position. Now I'm
yeah.
hearing that like they don't really own real gold; it's all paper.
No, it's not GLD. It's GOLD.
Okay, GOLD.
Yeah, I wouldn't invest in GLD.
And what's the one for silver? Would it be PSLV?
I don't invest in silver, but there was one SLV or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but I only invest in gold when I think the market is in a correction. So I'm definitely not in gold right now.
Okay.
By the way, Juan just joined us. Juan, do you want to introduce yourself? You just muted yourself. For some reason, I can't hear you.
I can't hear him either. ¿Qué pasa, Juan Carlito?
Well, anyway, we have two silent people, which is all right. But you can always use your phone to call in. But I think you did use your phone. Juan, unfortunately, we're just closing up right now. We just ended. We've been doing this since about 7. So we'll definitely see you guys next week. And thank you so much. And like Eli says, happy returns, right?
Yep. Yep.
That was good.
Thank you, Ricardo. Great to have you.
Well, thank you.
Thanks.
You're welcome. All right,
Thank-
so I'll see you guys.
Thanks,
next
Bill.
week.
Take care, everybody. Be safe.
Great night.
Good night,
Take
Rob.
care, Rabo.
Take
Later.
care.